Here we go, here we go, here we go, here we go. It is Markets in the Morning. Let's go. Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is the Blockchain Backer, bringing you the latest cryptocurrency news and analysis. Welcome to Markets in the Morning. Today is January 3rd, 2024. This is Markets in the Morning, where we take a look at the price action of the cryptocurrency market, including the Bitcoin price chart and the altcoin market and XRP today. And we take a look over there at the stock market as it gets set to open in the next 3 minutes, and then take a peek over there at the US dollar currency index, or the DXY, along with precious metals like gold, and then take a peek over there at any type of financial news that is going on in the world as we start our morning, and any type of crypto news as we start our morning. Well, it's just a boring day in crypto today. We got a flash crash today. Here, I'm going to bump. Oh, the volume looks okay. We'll leave the volume alone. Okay. We got a flash crash over here in crypto this morning. Viewership's a little bit higher than usual today, as I would expect that it would be. Typically, when we have these big types of moves, you get a lot of interest in what is going on, a little bit of clarity of what is happening in here. I come in here with feeling good about it. And I'm going to show you guys why. And this is actually something we've been talking about for a little while. So today, just so you know, today is Wednesday. We have a good time. So I'm hoping that by the time you leave this thing, you're like, hey, I feel a little bit better. And we're still going to play our frog, and we're still going to have a really great time here on a Wednesday. But let's just talk about what we just witnessed happen today, right? So Bitcoin sits at $42,000. We see a lot of red over here in the cryptocurrency market. This is something that has been on my radar, and it's something that's been stressing me out a little bit, kind of waiting for it to actually show up and emerge here in the crypto market. Last month, I guess 3 days ago, I put out, looking forward into 2024 over here on my newsletter, blockchainbacker.substack.com, link in the description. And we're looking forward. It is very rare that I put any type of short-term price discussion that would happen in the cryptocurrency market of where we're at. And this is something we've brought up in Markets in the Morning. It's something that's been brought up in YouTube videos of what happens in where we're at within the cryptocurrency market. And I want to show you this little excerpt right here from the actual newsletter. And I don't do this. Don't expect this to be in my newsletters where I give price expectations on short-term trends. It's not something I do. This is something that was just really staring me right in the face. And I want to go ahead and read this so we don't have to, I don't know how to pull up old videos and talk about it in live streams. I don't even know how to play my intro on live streams. I just play the audio for you guys. But we've talked about this in Markets in the Morning. We've talked about this in other YouTube videos, but let me just read just this one paragraph to you right here. It says, based on what I've seen in markets several times before, it seems likely that we will see some kind of correction in this market before the real euphoria can kick in. That's just a guess based on structure. For example, in the altcoin market, typically there is going to be a flash crash back to at least this level before a bigger march upward could ensue. So the discussions for the last week or two have been a flash crash, something unexpected. It will come quick. And what have we actually seen happen? We just saw $560 million in liquidations show up really, really quickly. But this is something we have been looking for. It's been really bothering me, kind of continuing to make content, but knowing that this is here and having to kind of bring it up all the time. We finally have gotten it. The fortunate thing for it is, we look over here at total 3, right? The minimum level has already been hit in what a flash crash back would be. We could go lower. It could go lower, but in minimum requirements, that was enough to potentially still be enough to be the actual bottom to happen in there. Going back and hitting that last point of support, hitting that peak, that's very possible that was good enough of what we just saw. So this is not an unexpected move. This is something I put in my newsletter that I never do. I never, ever am going to predict short-term price action in future newsletters. And if it is, it just was a golden little extra gem that was thrown in there because it's not going to happen. But this one was so clear that a flash crash typically does happen in these situations that I even included it in here. So we have gotten it now. That could have been enough. Now, for those who are big XRP people, what have I not talked about for the last month? XRP, it gets asked about all the time. It's one of the things that I'm like, every time the question gets asked, I pretty much try to dodge it and say, look, we are in a range. There's not a lot to say about something that's in a range. It's just going sideways. Ranges by design are chaotic. You're not in a trend. You're not going to get something from a trend. But the level that we've been watching for has been 54 cents, and that we could likely see even a wick go lower than that for XRP. But 54 cents for the daily level is what we want to see hold. So XRP, what do we get? We get the flasher. So there we go. The range is left. And guess what? For XRP people, congrats. I'm going to be talking about XRP again and making XRP videos. We'll probably talk about it in Markets in the Morning, because we have now finished that range and we actually have things to really talk about now. This was our long Wyckoff accumulation. We needed a good slam and to see it hold as support. It has now finally hit it. So the thing I'll be looking for today is to say, can we hold 54 cents by the end of the day and by the time the day comes to a close? The other thing is, what has sentiment been like? It's been like total trash. If you go look out there on Twitter, it is just, Selena, I'm looking at Selena and crying. But what's been great is that we've held up. XRP has been very strong throughout all of 2022 and 2023. You may think, what are you talking about, man? I showed this in the video the other day, that one of the reasons why Solana rallied so hard is because it got so pummeled so hard. But we've held up really well over here on XRP, and this has actually been very similar behavior to what we've seen in two past eventually, which led to explosions. So how long has it been since you've seen me making videos talking about XRP, being like, hey, the potential explosion could be coming sometime soon? Well, things that we have going for it is we have Bitcoin's been rallying very hard. The altcoin market's been rallying very hard. And we've been needing to get this Wyckoff accumulation backtest to come in here. And we've definitely seen things just like this happen before, where we slam back down into this particular level and then get a little bit of a recovery. So even excluding this stuff and saying, oh, that's nonsense, who cares about any of that? What we have been looking for has been for that 54 cent back test. We've gotten it. Now we'd like to see daily candles close on top of it. So we have a lot of stuff to talk about with XRP moving forward, and potentially even now actually talking about price being able to actually break out and now be able to go. So I'm actually thrilled to see that, because this has been frustrating to me to not be able to talk about XRP and to kind of be snappy with people, because people ask so many times about XRP. I'm like, look, you're wanting me to give you something for trending when we know this hasn't been tested and this is just a range. So now we finally have something. So we've now back tested the top of the range. We've now gotten into interesting prices. So now it's actually time to sit there and think, there's a realistic chance now that this thing could get going. We have gone down to find demand. We did find demand where we should find demand at. This is where sentiment's going to be at its lowest. It has always been at its lowest before it ends up going. Don't think for 1 second that people are all hooting and hollering and screaming before price goes up. It's always, rah, 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 I'm so sad. It's always like that, and then eventually we end up going. So this is a fantastic thing to see happen in here, because we can finally talk about it. I've just refused to do it every time I get asked about it because of it being a range, and that this was our level to watch for. That's the daily candle closes on top of the Wyckoff accumulation breakout. We have finally slammed it. We even said a wick could likely go below it. Now we hold, right? Now we look for that 54 cent hold, and as long as we get it, dude, I'm pretty pumped about it, right? And so we've got the flash crash that's been brought up in lots of videos that would be expected. A flash crash talked about in lots of Markets in the Mornings. Finally, we're getting it. And so that's the minimum level of what I would have required to happen in here for a flash crash, would be that support level right there for it to hit. Hopefully that is the end of it. This has only happened in the last 2 hours. We've seen in the last 4 hours, $560 million in liquidations. but finally we do have it, and now we can kind of start cheering for a bigger event to show up here in the market. So I hope. I've been seeing my videos when I release these. They sometimes get lower viewership when we talk about this because people do want moon content. But this has been the thoughts, and I'm super happy to see us get beyond it because it's been something that has definitely been stressing me out to think that we were going to get something like this to end up happening in here. And finally, we do have it. And the same goes for XRP because I know so many people want me to make XRP content, and I have just refused to do it. I've refused to give directional bias towards what XRP would do without this level being tested first or a breakout to happen. While we were ranging, I'm just not willing to talk about it. We finally have it. We finally have exactly the thing that I thought was most likely, but not willing to talk too much about it. But there it is. You got the 54-cent hit. Now we look for daily candle closes to happen in this level. And then now we are at a point where things could get very interesting to get a bigger reaction. And we have the market elements in there too, right? You got the stock market all-time high. You got Bitcoin rallying back into retracements. You got all the things you could look for something big to show up for XRP now. And right, and it doesn't mean it'll show up today and by any means, but we could have it here. Like we're talking about with the time frames, all the things that we're talking about, right? How long is it until rate cuts? Over the course of the next several months, the chance for that to actually end up showing up and coming in here. So I'm thrilled to see us get beyond that, just because I've held that concern of a flash crash showing up in here. And so this was the minimum requirement. The minimum requirement is perfectly met. And there's the real possibility that was it. And that was all we needed. And so super happy to see that we can get beyond it. I know nobody likes to see prices do something like that in a day. We only want up only. But this isn't something like we ignored. This isn't something we talked about and been like, hey, we're only up only from here. This has been talked about so many times. I think somebody asked yesterday, they said, hey, what is sentiment like when a crash happens, right? Will the sentiment still be bad if a crash happens right now? Like, of course it will. And what will happen is people will sell the bottom. They won't sell in here. They'll sell the bottom because now they're going to become cheerleaders for lower. And then now we're going to get a whole lot more content creation coming out being like, will we go lower? And the retail sentiment will all herd into the same thing all over again. The thing with Bitcoin, though, I think we have another kind of warning sign for those who are in belief that Bitcoin's going to an all-time high. I've stuck with the whole retracement idea that I think we're only going to be retracing for Bitcoin. I still stick with that idea. Regardless of if a Bitcoin ETF gets approved or doesn't get approved, and that little knockback right there was really right in line with what you would expect to happen in here. That there was still one more little push up to happen, and then it falls back down and continues grinding throughout here. So I still think that looks pretty realistic. This right here, this little push right in here would give you into the retracement levels in here for Bitcoin. Now, the one thing about this is if you look on if you look on Coinbase, you did get a lower low happening in here on the daily time frame, right? So we were talking about daily time frames yesterday. Problem with that is you don't have it on Bitstamp, you don't have it on Binance, you don't have it on the market cap. So was it a Coinbase exclusive event? Hard to know because we don't have that elsewhere. We don't have that on Bitstamp. Right, you don't have it on Binance. You just have it over there on Coinbase. So we'll keep our eyes on that. If it dips a little bit lower, then we'll have more to talk about in regards to trending changes happening for Bitcoin, because you could see it right there on Coinbase exclusively, but not on Binance, Bitstamp, or on the market cap. But it's something to pay attention to, right? Retail euphoria is happening in here. Everybody is the perfect low, we're still early. No, you're not, for Bitcoin, right? So I'm excited for what could happen for the altcoin market. And that's where my focus is. And really, I'm just totally excited to see this. And I think you guys will understand that because I'm going to be much more willing to talk about it now, and to make YouTube videos. I don't even know when the last time we put out an XRP video was. just because of me knowing that this is a range. I don't think we've done an XRP video in an actual month, but you can definitely expect more of them to happen now that we have gotten the top of the Wyckoff back tested in here finally. And so, right, what happened last time, right? When we had our liquidation, what did we do? Right, this is that back in that August liquidation that happened. Here we are. We have a liquidation today. This was this $1 billion that happened that day? $1 billion goes through it, can't hold it, right? So this one, liquidation, we're holding it still. So we want to see it hold throughout the rest of the day. And then could it be? We have the elements. We have all-time high stock market. We have Bitcoin all the way back up into retracements. And then what happens? So like what happens, right? So what happens is people lose faith that Bitcoin's going to go much higher. They got a lot of liquidity tied up into Bitcoin. And what do? Rotate it out. So perfect, very good elements. So I hope that put a little bit at ease that, we have been anticipating for there to be a crash, a flash crash back to these levels. The minimum level has been hit. Fortunately, minimum level of what could have been enough has been hit. And these were things that we've talked about with XRP constantly, and that we now have things to actually talk about in here as the top of the Wyckoff has been back tested now. So today we'll be looking for 54 cents. Feels good, man. Let's go. Froggy time.
It is Wednesday, my It is Wednesday.
So, we're doing all right, everybody. We're doing all right. Right? Holding up strong. Right? Technically, very good move. Very good move. All right. Stock market opened 13 minutes ago, but I rambled my mouth for 17. So let's go ahead and dive on into what's going on in broader markets out there. Let's talk about these things. Of course, you guys can sign up for my blog, for my newsletter over there on blockchainbacker.substack.com. I put out 2 per month. That is subscription based. And then, of course, you guys can check out bzbacker.com with over 40 videos and 11 hours of content on there, teaching you how to set up your own charts, indicators, and all that good stuff. And Wyckoff accumulation, distribution, Elliott wave theory, historical behavior of the markets, just to give you a real grasp of the actual crypto market in here. This one's $39, no subscriptions at all. All right, there you go. Bitcoin liquidation map, $560 million throughout the cryptocurrency market has been wiped off the map. Again, those who are trading with margin, they're learning very quickly. There's a very big difference between saying your portfolio dropped by 10% compared to somebody who loses 100%. These are people who have lost 100%. Unfortunate, but this is the gambling aspect of crypto when you start playing with margin. All right. Bitcoin, right, still up there near retracements. So we'll be talking about all that good stuff. Stock market taking a hit today, negative 168 for the Dow Jones at the opening, negative 22 points for the S&P at the opening, negative 79 for the NASDAQ. So we're down about 0.5% over here in the stock market as it kicks open. Coinbase taking an absolute pummeling. They're in the 180s, likely the top. We'll see if it distributes and goes to set a slightly higher high above that, but that's probably about as far as you're going to get over there on Coinbase, in my personal opinion, in regards for climbing up. It got into the zone. We talked about that on the last day of the year. Netflix, United Health, Microsoft, leaders of the day. Losers, Coinbase, Tesla, ARK, and Ford. Looking over here at metals. Metals taking a hit today as well. Wow, silver down 67 cents per ounce. Gold down $24 per ounce. Hold on, I'm kind of getting too far ahead of myself. Like I mentioned yesterday, I said I do believe that was the bottom of the DXY. That is completed crashing structure in there. Bottom of the DXY is likely in. There you go for gold. These are monthly closes in here. The last 2 months have been into the highest monthly closes for gold in all of history. We can see pulling back here in January. like I mentioned, a lot of profit taking probably happening here at the very beginning of the month. People who have now gotten into long-term capital gains from buying in December of last year when the market was rough everywhere. And then getting into the new year now, being able to have long-term capital gains along with the taxes being rolled now to not being due till 2025, right? So anybody who wanted to sell in December, right there at the end of the month, waiting until the very beginning of January to go ahead and take those profits. As for the NDXT, right, we've been talking about distribution structures happening over here on the NDXT. Looks like we're getting this guy a little bit earlier. So due to it setting a lower low below that low, I would think that we are probably already in that first one of distribution right in here. So this could just waddle here for a while until it works its way back up. But still looking right on cue happening in there for the NASDAQ 100 technology sector. Gold, we've already gotten you. CME futures for federal interest rate hikes and cuts and pauses. Let's look over here. Looks like we are still anticipating a pause for the next meeting, 91%. I looked at these this morning. It looked like it's starting to shift less and less optimistic of actual rate cuts happening really fast. You can see we've already dropped down to a 70% probability there for March and 95% probability for May 1st. 95, well, it's a difference between 99, it was like at 99.8%. That was almost 100% priced in that we were going to have rate cuts come May. It's now off of 100%. There's a big difference between saying, yeah, I'm 100% confident, or I'm like, well, I'm like pretty confident. Big difference, right? One is a guaranteed assurance. The other one is like not a guarantee, like high probability, but not guaranteed, right? So we're coming off of that like 100% and shifting down and down and down. And so we're way more in the still continued on thinking about the Fed still being paused. But still, March, it's got it at a 70% probability that we are going to see our first cut happen there in March. Stock market news, NASDAQ futures fall second day following worst session since October. Apple declines again. Kramer makes market prediction for 2024, says investors may be rotating out of tech. Oh, let's talk about this, guys. Who saw it yesterday? Kramer becomes a bull on Bitcoin. You can't make it up. You can't make it up, guys. And let's just say this. You think for half of a second he's that bad at his job, or do you think for half of a second he's paid to do that? Michael Saylor selling $200 million of MicroStrategy. You think he's not going to dump on retail for half of a second? You think he really cares about you? Get out of here. You are being played hard. So MicroStrategy selling Michael Saylor selling $200 million of MicroStrategy before the Bitcoin ETF? I wonder why. All right. Feds, Barkin sees likely soft landing ahead, but notes rate hikes still a possibility. Yeah. Okay. I doubt it. Mortgage, at least that's not what the market says. Mortgage, if this changed, sure. The market says no. Mortgage demand down 9.4% for final week of 2023, despite recent drop in interest rates. Wonder why Michael Saylor wants $200 million in US dollars. That's interesting. I thought he liked Bitcoin and there was no second best. Bonds, stocks extend New Year drop ahead of US data. Disney to work with Value Act and bid to stave off billionaire active. Okay, Harvard, Iran says explosion. Okay, Nikki. Okay, we got nothing. All right, here we go. Bitcoin slumps as $400 million was liquidated in 2 hours. We now know that's up to over $560 million in liquidations. Arbitrum token sets record high as value locked crosses $2.5 billion. Transaction volumes on the network overtook those for Solana-based applications, which boomed after a meme coin-led frenzy in December. Spot Bitcoin ETFs could be rejected if the SEC wants more time. No way. You think there's a chance the SEC could want more time? No way. I thought Gary Gensler's like the champion for Bitcoin, right? He totally loves it. Not a yeah. These Bitcoiners, they think that's not possible. Bitcoin price, it breaks above 45K days ahead of potential ETF approval. Early Mickey Mouse version becomes top NFT on OpenSea after copyright expires. IRS rules require reporting on data from 10K crypto transactions in 2024. Yeah, I'm gonna look more into that. You might want to look into more of that. I guess it's like apparently impossible to follow. From what I've been reading on like Twitter and stuff, that like if you move $10,000 of crypto or something, you have to like report it for the IRS. 5 times crypto appeared in pop culture in 2023. Did I miss this stuff? 15 years. I guess today is the 15-year birthday for Bitcoin. There's 90,000 Bitcoinaires. Bitcoin millionaires' wallets jumped 300%. Corey Clipson's warning for S-coin traders in the bull market. Okay, this is a huge maxi, and his business model is around being a maxi. So just know that. It's like a super toxic maxi, and his business model is 100% be a Bitcoin maxi, and that's how he makes all of his money. Fortnite GTA 6 might create a functional metaverse before any crypto nerds. Michael Saylor began selling $260 million in MicroStrategy stocks for more Bitcoin. Yeah, I doubt it's for more Bitcoin. I doubt it. Look, man, if you don't realize that look, here's what you have to assume by Michael Saylor. Look, I'm just going to say this, okay? You have to assume one of two things. One, he's making the same mistake he made during the dot-com bubble, right? All the reports show it that Michael Saylor's business was the worst performer in the dot-com bubble. He had the biggest losses in the dot-com bubble out of any company. Nobody lost more than Michael Saylor's company. I think I read that on CNN. That article floats around all over the place. So based on that, right, that's all I know. Either he's going to repeat that or he's going to sell. Why would a billionaire corral retail investors? Why would his full-time job be, let's excite retail investors on Twitter? Why would a billionaire do that? For the good of humanity or like to make money like billionaires do? Like, I mean, if it doesn't, obviously that's all my speculation, but if it doesn't smell funny to you, man, I don't know what to tell you. If you think a billionaire is here to look out for you, like, right, they say government's not out to save you. Billionaires aren't either. They didn't become billionaires by helping retail win. It's okay. I'll leave that alone. But careful, right? All right, there you go. There you go. All right, I think we've covered it all. I think we're all good. If you missed the very beginning of this thing, check it out. Nothing unusual going on out here. Everything, again, looking at it from this perspective, right? We got it. So there's your liquidation. I'm happy to see it behind us. It's been stressing me out with it overhanging on top of us. Hopefully that's it. So we obviously we're within 2 hours of this thing actually happening in here. Give it a little bit of time. So like just to kind of give you an idea of how traders would treat this, right? If you're worried that we're going to go down here, if you're worried that there's going to be a bigger fall down in here, the way traders will treat this is waiting for a retracement, selling the retracement, targeting lower, but stopping there. That is what trading is for anybody who is like, I need to have a 100% hit rate. No trader has that expectation. They have rules of how they behave. They'd wait for a retracement to take place in here, sell it, and stop higher, and then wait for lower. So if you're worried of something lower happening, That is how a trader would treat that, right? They'd get out at a retracement level, stop above a higher level, and then go for lower, right? If they're right, hey, it pays out. It's 5-to-1 risk ratio, right? So if they're wrong, they lose 1. If they're right, they win 5. That's how a trader would treat it. So there you go. But otherwise, got it. And like I said, in live streams, I don't have the ability or the technical wherewithal to know how to pull up my other stuff on here and make it easy. So the easiest thing for me to do, of course, is just to go back into my newsletter that I wrote several days ago and say, based on what I've seen in markets several times before, it seems likely we will see some kind of correction in this market before real euphoria can kick in. It's just a guess based on structure. For example, with the altcoin market, typically there is going to be a flash crash back to at least this level before a bigger march upward could ensue. We've talked about that in lots of videos. We talked about that in Markets in the Morning a lot. And there you go. Hopefully that was it. So XRP holders, we'll have stuff to talk about in here. Expect XRP videos moving forward. We've had to be paused out in here. I've been trying to, every time an XRP question comes in, say, look, we're range bound. We know we haven't back tested the top of this at 54 cents. We got it. Now we look for daily candle closes to happen on here and to hold supports. And otherwise, what a sight to behold. It's good gravy. So, okay, let's go ahead and hop on into the Chatterisky at 31 minutes. Wait. We doing okay, guys? Give me a thumbs up in the chat. We doing okay? Everybody cool? I need to know that we're okay, and we're gonna have ourselves a wonderful day.
It is Wednesday, my dude. It is Wednesday, my dude. It is Wednesday, my dude. It is Wednesday, my dudes.
There we go. We're good, baby. All my lurkers are out there. I know it. They just don't want to chat. I'm I don't want to chat. It's okay. It's okay. All right. Yeah. So, all right. So I do have my guess one. My guess was that we would have 3,500 concurrent viewers in here. We're at 37. Somebody else guessed 4,000. So we haven't hit 4,000. So 35. Pretty good. And then we guessed how many super chats would be XRP related. And Eric, of course, there you go. Can we please talk about XRP? Let's go. Thank you, Eric. Oscar Hernandez as well. Oscar, my brother. Hey, you know who I was thinking about? And I hope he's listening right now. And I want you to know I think about you. And I was walking on a walk, and I was wondering if I just said something, if I could bring you out of the shadows. And that is not Oscar Hernandez. I was thinking about you the other day as I was on a walk. I hope you're doing okay out there. And it would be nice to know you're still there. We haven't seen you in a while. Eric Hernandez gifted a BCB membership. Brother, thank you. XP Market gifted 5. Thank you so much, XP Market. Oscar Hernandez gifted a membership as well. Thank you very much, man. Huang Nguyen says, with the crash, did you buy in? No, I didn't. It was too early in the morning. I was still getting ready and doing stuff when it happened. And so I wasn't all set. I wasn't all ready for it. So I'm going to let things kind of settle down and then decide, I like I said, I got 10% into cash. So we'll see about if I can get a shot to re-enter it. I'm not in a rush to do it today. So obviously I didn't catch the liquidation. Would have been cool to catch the liquidation, just was not all ready this morning. I don't know what time was this. Yeah, I mean, I'd been up for an hour or two already, but definitely wasn't sitting down, prepared for how quick it all came. So nope, I didn't get it. Huang Nguyen, thank you very much. Oscar Hernandez says, hit the number one best way to support the BCB channel. That is correct, you guys. Just hitting that like button. Appreciate it, you guys. Thank you, Oscar. Everett S. Hey, BCB, thanks for all the hard work. Thanks for you. I recognized the flash crash and took the opportunity to take a nibble into the high dev coins. You are the GOAT. Warm regards from the Netherlands. Dude, there you go, man. Yeah, those are the only ones like on my list for me, too. Everett, thank you, brother. Oh, I see him. I'm going to acknowledge him. Not Oscar Hernandez came out with a bomb of a super chat, brother. Thank you very much. And he says, my dude, I'm always here. Not Oscar. Thank you, man. Sorry. Thank you, man. Appreciate it, brother. It's good to see you, dude. And that's very generous. Thank you. We got him out of the shadows. Nick Angarita, member for 2 months, says, which chart do you use most in terms of exchanges? You mentioned Bitstamp and Binance. The reason I asked because XRP went to 44 cents on Kraken. Oh, really? Wow. It must have just had a much thinner order book over there on Kraken. Here, let's go look at Coinbase. Yeah, so we went even, we got a lot of discrepancies. So that probably was it, guys. When you have a liquidation like that, that was probably it. So that's good stuff. Wow, Kraken gave you 44 cents, huh? Dang, Kraken, hooking it up. Yeah, just, you know, each exchange has their own order books in them, right? So Kraken, do they still provide leverage? They do provide leverage for non-US citizens, don't they? So you have like potential of liquidations to happen over here on Kraken, unlike how you do on Coinbase, right? So if you have less liquidity already in the pool, and then you have the ability for liquidations, right? Like, let's say somebody did a leverage long on Bitcoin, a 10x leverage long or something, or a 50x leverage long or something, and they get liquidated, and to have it, the exchange is going to liquidate their whole altcoin portfolio to pay up. So in examples like this, sometimes, a lot of times when we see these big nasty things happen to the altcoins, when another move happens for something like Bitcoin, what we're seeing mostly leverage wipeouts happening of Bitcoin and Ethereum and the bigger names. But in order to pay off those loans, the exchange has to liquidate their whole crypto portfolio. And so that's why we'll see altcoins take a whooping, because there's automatic selling that happens from the exchanges for all those degens who decided they wanted to play with leverage. And so that's why it's like you will lose everything with leverage. Oscar's in jail. No, Oscar's not in jail. Spag says, Michael Saylor said he loves H-bar. Yeah. I do have some chats that I do where we goof off and we're talking about different altcoins. And we always just love to say, decentralized sound file storage. There is no second best file storage. The ultrasound money of decentralization. There is no second best. What does he say? He says, mortgage your house. Mortgage your house and buy file storage. Scooped up more XRP at 50 cents. Dude, good for you, Moon Doggle Gaming. Good for you, man. What a nail, bro. What a nail. Thank you, Nick. Thank you, Moon Doggle Gaming. Miles Pry says, I smiled when I saw the red candles this morning. Peace. Right. And so that's really just how it works for everybody. It's just whether or not you saw it coming. Right. What I see everybody out there, here's what everybody on Twitter is doing. You know what they're doing? The Bitcoiners. They're like trying to blame some news article written by some dude who has 800 followers. Some dude wrote, "What happens if the Bitcoin ETF doesn't get passed?" Of course it's possible it won't get passed. Since when has Gary Gensler been a friend of crypto? Ever. Ever. And since when did they not do unethical, slimy things to avoid what they're supposed to do? When has the SEC ever done it? Like, when have they played by the rules? Ever. They never do. But yeah, you know, and that's why for me, it's been something that has been stressing me out, that we would have something like this. And for me now, I can be like, okay, there's a chance it's behind us now. So I can move forward now and feel like more responsible on like with XRP, talking about stuff like this, of working our way back up and actually being able to feel better in here, because it's been overhanging. So all my videos, I keep saying, you know, it's very typical that we're going to have a pullback down into these regions right in here. That's the minimum requirement. And it has happened in a flash crash, which was the style expected. I did not expect this to end up being some type of like grind down slowly. It was expected that it would be a flasher. And in yesterday's live stream, we were even reading stuff that was saying like funding rates were so high on Bitcoin, they were like insane. And we were like, that's what leads to a flash crash. 24 hours later, less than 24 hours later, right? So like, if you are like, first of all, never trade with leverage. You are going to become a statistic of these people. You will. It will happen to you. All the affiliate links that get pushed to you out there on Twitter, those, hey, I think this is true. Like, affiliate links, from my understanding, the commissions that leveraged, margined exchanges pay to people who provide affiliate links to those exchanges is they make a percentage. The referee makes a percentage based on trading volume. And so when a liquidation like this happens, the affiliate link you've clicked to sign up for that exchange and you getting yourself liquidated, that the person who referred you actually makes money from you getting liquidated. So I'd ask. I don't promote exchanges, and certainly always deter away from using any type of leverage, because this is the end result. That is the end result. HTB, Hot Tub Brian gifted one BCB membership. Brother, thank you very much. Terrence Rafferty, thank you for preparing us for events like this. I bought the dip. Good for you, Terrence. And then Not Oscar, of course, finally caught up to you. I jumped ahead for you because I tried to call you out of the shadows, brother. Thank you very much, man. 702 Bathroom Butler. Fed day today. Fed day today. I must just be blind. I have not checked the economic calendar today. Let me go look at it off screen. See what we got going on. You got FOMC members speaking, but you had a speaker, FOMC meeting minutes. What? If Atlanta Fed GDP now, you have FOMC meeting minutes. We'll see what comes of that. Thank you, brother. Russell Rutz, you've been on a roll, BCB. You're undisputed GOAT. The Indian stock market, it just hit its 4.236 since 2008. Any thoughts? Imagine the irony of that happening while you have the Dow Jones Industrial Average that close, right? We could see these indexes, may not pinpoint precisely nail them, right? You saw the SPX, it hit it right here. The second it hit right here, or the S&P 500, for those who don't know, the S&P 500 hit it, and that's the day that the Fed went ahead and banned themselves from owning stocks and forced themselves to have to sell their personal portfolios. But then it went up a little bit higher, right? So my even if it's at the 4.236, I'm still thinking this is all just a big bunch of distribution happening in here for the stock market on the big time frame, right? And so we have, and I get it, like the way I should be framing my content is we're going to the moon, and do that for 4 months, right? Like that's the proper YouTube content creator strategy. Like, because that's what I do think we're going to have positive price action for crypto for a few months. And it could be very interesting. It could be very big. It could just end up being a retrace, but I think we have upward price action to go. But that's not the way I'm like framing it, right? Like I'm framing it of like, hey, I think, we have some time, but we have to be mindful of the Fed, the rate cuts, and we have to be mindful of the stock market, of where we're at, and that it may buy us several months for things to happen, but we have to be prepared because really bad things could come afterwards, rather than just being like, we're going to moon, right? Maybe I need to work on my marketing a little bit. Be more moon boyish, but my thoughts are, that's why I just keep it in mind. I'm real worried about the long-term future of the stock market up here. I'm worried about family. I'm worried about everybody up here for the stocks. And, like the great financial crisis, right? It was not a localized United States issue, right? It was a worldwide issue. And so I doubt something big happening in the market would just be isolated to the United States. I would think it would be spread out really far. Pat, I saw you gift memberships twice. You gifted like 10 twice, man, and it's not showing up in my list. I don't know why you're not showing up in my list, bro, but I absolutely saw you come across the screen 2 times. And I see you up here on the top, man. Thank you very much, bro. And thank you, Russell. Ollie, do you own any Litecoin? If so, how does it look to you? I own some Litecoin. It's just Litecoin I've held for a long time. It's up like 40% in 5 years. Yeah, it doesn't look anything special. It would have to just have some crazy pump out of nowhere, kind of like XRP, but nothing unique and special about Litecoin at all. Alphinius, no need to read it out loud because I'm not trying to show. Okay. All right, bro. I got you, man. Thank you. Jordan Norvell, Oscar's in jail. Oscar's not in jail. Unless a mod put him in jail. And Pat, I know you stayed up late to do that, man. Thank you. Gator gifted 5 BCB memberships. Greg L, new member. Welcome, brother. 702 Bathroom Butler says, how do you feel about XAH, my man? Right. So that's the side chain XRP coin. I don't, if you're asking me from like charts, right? I'm not gonna have fundamental technical technology answers for you. But if you're coming from like a chart perspective, right, the price cannot exceed the price of 1 XRP, right? So the upward potential is only to whatever the price of XRP is. So like for me, when I think about it, first of all, I own 0. I own none. And if I ever was to own any of it, it would have to be down like at least 90 something % versus XRP. to be a catch-up trade back to the price of XRP, because the current ceiling on it is whatever the price of XRP is, right? Right, because you can swap, right? You could swap one XRP for one ZAO, however you pronounce it, XAH. So there has to be a bigger potential there. And like, I know a lot of the early guys got a lot of the tokens and they've been actively selling them. And so just right now, there's zero interest from me. But I support the guys that I don't support the token, right? And that's not because I don't support it because I think there's something wrong with it. I don't support it just because I don't own any. I'm not educated enough to own any of it. And the price isn't where I would have interest at it. But that's nothing to say against those guys, because Vice Van and those guys, they're very pivotal to the XRP ledger. And they're the guys who pretty much run the show. So, yeah, I don't know. Those are my thoughts. Andy Philpott gifted a BCB membership. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it, man. Greg L gifted 5. Man, thank you, guys. Michael Hindle with a super chat, and he says, just remember to hit the like button. Thanks, Michael. John Trade says, do you have a mentor? How did you learn to trade? No, my mentor was the market. Lots and lots of mistakes. You still make mistakes along the way. You learn something new all the time. But it was just full time. 50, 60 hours a week for years. That's really it. And so that's, when I put together something like this, it's trying to condense like years of it and like try to teach you what were the most important things I learned along the way. And I skip a lot of stuff that I just don't think is all that important. Like there's a million different tools and indicators. I just don't think they're that important. I don't think they're that valuable. There's lots of patterns. There's lots of stuff. I don't think it's that important. We talk about things on the channel that I think are important. When Elliott waves show up, we talk about them. Wyckoff accumulation and distribution, when they show up, we talk about them because I think those things are important. And there's some real dumb stuff out there. Like stuff I always see is people are like, the pattern I hate the most is kind of like what we actually just saw with Bitcoin. How many times do you see people do this? Oh, this is a diamond. And they're like, oh, I know I don't have it drawn right. But I see this all the time. And they're like, this is a bull will continue thing. And I see it all the time. And whenever you see somebody post this on Twitter, remember what I'm telling you here. When you see somebody who draws you a diamond, and they're like, this is a continuation to a bull. The way these diamonds always play out is like that. So whenever you see somebody, keep that in the back of your mind. For those who do see people do that. There we go. There's the diamond. That's why I think it's dumb. And so I don't talk about it because I don't find it to have value. Unless if you wanted to trade it in the aspect of it's not a continuation. It's a wreck to get wrecked thing. And you'll see those posted a lot. And you'll see people with huge followings. 500,000 people will post those things. So, okay. Robbie. Oh, wait, I missed some people. Hold on. Daniel. Hi, bro. Just a reminder of how thankful I am for your effort and approach to the market. By the way, today, about 30 minutes before the crash, you can't make this up. Dude. Literally every viewer watching right now has done exactly that. So, everybody. So, you are not alone. You are not in a specific group. Every single person has done that. Robbie. If you had Ethereum profit, would you roll it into XRP? Right. So the way I still have to make a video on it this week, but we have obviously new things to talk about that may take precedent over that with all the action that we have actually ended up seeing it. Right. But when it comes to rotations, I'll tell you how my mind works with rotations. It becomes what's undervalued in relation to where the rest of the market is. Why did people YOLO and FOMO Solana, and why did Solana go so high? And it's because Solana just had to catch up to where the rest of the market was. Solana had been beaten down so hard that all it had to do was return to mean. It had to return to average like the rest of the market. And so people perceive that Solana is the leader. The reality is Solana was just pummeled negative 97+%. So the return back to mean, the return back to where like even XRP is at, that's all it did. It just returned right back to where XRP was. The only thing is XRP only fell 85% and not 97%. And that's the difference between only having to rise 100% and having to rise 1,000% to get back to the same level is how much you fall. If you only fall 85%, then you only have to rise 100% to get back to the mean. If you fall 97%, you have to rise 1,000% to get back to the mean. So the thing is that XRP still sits much closer to the mean and closer to the market averages, and it's not drastically far away from them. But there's other stuff that's really far away still, like HBAR or Polkadot or Cosmos. Those are all still further away from returning back to the mean of where the market is. So when I think of like, if I'm trying to like do short-term rotational plays, I think of it in that aspect. But as for me personally, I'm not selling my Ethereum to rotate. I mean, I have a monster bag of XRP. And my Ethereum bag is, unfortunately, it's only 1/4 the size of my XRP bag. But, you know, I wish I had more Ethereum. So, you know, whatever. But, you know, that's your call. I don't think their valuations are too far off from each other with where the whole market is right now. You know, things may change when the market like breaks out and starts getting beyond this range, if it does. But I don't find that like compared to where Bitcoin is, compared to where Ethereum is, compared to where XRP is, they're all kind of equally at the same spots. And Solana is now there too. They've all gotten back to that kind of April 2022 price level stuff. But there's a lot of stuff that hasn't done that catch up play yet. And so that's why you sit here and you see people scream about Solana going really high. And they chase that one at the top instead of saying, well, what other things looked just like Solana before it took off? Right? So that's kind of how I think about it. You know, that's just personal. And all that depends how long you plan on holding, how long you plan on doing that. That's going to be your kind of prerogative. But I don't. Rotations, it's like I've got my list of the assets that I think are valued. XRP's in that list, but it's not only XRP; it's several different things. And where do I think those are valued in relation to the mean? Is something still has not played catch up yet, right? So it's up to you, man. Dr. Ty, member for 10 months. Do you hate money? Trade with leverage. Should have put it like in quotes. Hey, do you hate money? Trade with leverage today. Disclaimer, this ad is not brought to you by BCB. Yeah, good one, man. Yeah, if you hate money, trade with leverage. You'll lose it all. Leno's like, hey, man, what's up, man? Happy New Year, L Professor. What about XLM? It follows XRP. That's what's up about XLM. Yeah, nothing unique about XLM right now. Philip, man, gifted a BCB membership. Philip, thank you, brother. Andy Philpott gifted 5. Man, thank you. You guys, 702, you guys, thank you. Oscar got arrested for stealing Cadillac converters to buy more XRP. Oh, no. Not Oscar. Speaking of that, we had not Oscar Hernandez show up today. All right. So there you go. In summary, good day, right? We okay. Most people will think not a good day. This is something that we've talked about. It's something that I will talk about things a lot of times, but I don't like come out and say, this is stressing me out. But this has been something that has been bothering me. Expecting that there would be a flash crash to get us back into retest levels with a breakout with no correction having happened yet. So today gives me optimism to say, hey, look, that was a massive liquidation that happened in the market, $553 million in the last 4 hours. We get the flash crash back to levels that there's a chance that is it. There is a chance that was it. Before we can continue marching up again. We're going to have to let this settle. We'll watch it for a couple of days in here, but that's definitely the first possibility of where you could have a hold. So finally it does arrive. The thing that I am really excited about as well is really just XRP, because we've had to hold back on this thing for how long has that been? Since mid-November. It's been almost 2 months. You get people wanting to ask questions and me just kind of being like, look, we're range bound. Ranges by design are chaotic. You can see how chaotic the range has been. People have been wanting to hear trending behavior. And I just keep telling you every day, save your money, save your money. You're not going to get it from me. The thing that we have is we had 54 cents down to the low and we could get a wick to go through it. But we want to hold it. And that's exactly what we have so far right now. And it has held. Remember our last liquidation from the one back in August, we just plowed through it. We just went straight through it, no holding. This time we know the market has been much higher. Bitcoin's been going up. The stock market's been going into all-time high. We have a lot of conditions that are positive. And this is actually exactly what we did back here. And this, we obviously, we've never talked about this. We don't ever bring this thing up in here. This has merely just been Wyckoff accumulation discussion happening in here, and that to back test the breakout level happening in here to confirm it as support, because in no time have we successfully confirmed it as support. We've, support, crumble, break, try to get out, fail, try to get out. Now we support it, right? So holding for 54 cents today by the candle closes happening in there would be fantastic. If so, these are really exactly the kinds of things that have happened, and market conditions in there with Bitcoin rising so high and the stock market an all-time high for us to get some big moves. So I'm willing to actually talk about XRP again now that we have gotten it. And the range has been broken. A liquidation has happened. A flush has happened. I'm much more optimistic now to be more confident in talking about something. While we were range bound, I didn't want to say anything. Everybody wanted something every day. I would not give it to you. But now we have it. There you go, guys. Rock and roll. So, all right, there you go. Hopefully that was it. We'll give it a little time to settle in here. But there you go. Wiped them all out. All the liquidation got crushed. There you go. Sherv says, which one comes first, the narrative or the breakout? I don't know. The market will be primed and something will happen. It doesn't matter. I don't know. But sometimes both ways. A lot of times what happens too is like, okay, there can be a narrative. Like for example, when the lawsuit concluded for XRP and XRP was deemed not a security, right? Narrative comes out, price pumps. A lot of times though, what we'll see is we'll see things like this happen. And these big flashers happen, and it's liquidations, right? This is not panic selling. This is not massive dumping by retail or institutions of fear. Yeah, they might have done some dumping, but then it triggered a cascade. And the cascade of automatic selling causes these things to go like this. There is zero chance enough retail investors get up Eastern time, 7 o'clock in the morning, Central 6, Pacific Coast 4 a.m., and come on here and just plow it that fast. It's just impossible. It is 100% automatic liquidation selling that happens in here. This is computers that are having to do it, that are triggering the algorithms because people are getting liquidated. So what happens after this, when it happens so aggressive like this, people go searching for a narrative. They try to give an excuse for a narrative, and they find silly things to say, this is what caused it. It's like, really? If you had to go hunt for the narrative, that's not what caused it. It's not. And this type of move is not caused by narrative. This is caused by liquidations. This is caused by stop loss triggering. This is caused by people's whole portfolios getting automatically sold by the exchange because they used too much margin, too much leverage, and got wrecked automatically. Not panic. That's computers. So, there you go. Otherwise, hope we're feeling okay. I hope I made your day a little bit better if you were in any way worried about today. that this was not a surprise in any way. This was totally expected to happen at some point, that we would get something like this to emerge. Sure enough, we got it. And I really like that it has held and we have such a big bottom side wick on it. And for XR, I think this is one thing that has me not only excited about this, to have at least that, that gets me excited to say, okay, now we can move on. Hopefully we can like look for things to move on from that, right? There's still this chance that there's this, but we'll give this a minute because minimum requirements would have been that. That would have been minimum requirements. Let's see, hold on. Where can I find an example of that holding? I think ICP just did it right here. Kinda, right? Like this was like it broke out and then there, kinda. I don't know. I'll look for more examples to provide for you tomorrow. Let's go back. There we go. But yeah, that would have been minimum requirements in there. But so this has me excited to see this because it's been stressing me out. But really excited to see that because this has been holding me back from talking about XRP. And I apologize to those who kept asking, and I'd kind of like dismiss it and get snappy with you that I didn't want to talk about it while it was range bound. And now that the range is broken and we have something to really talk about, because now that 54 cents has gotten hit, we do have a nice wick to it. We've seen that before. And now we look for daily candle closes because when you go back to 2017, when you go back to these types of stuff, these are the types of things we needed, right? It's like we just kind of hung up higher and higher and higher and never came back to backtest. Now we have, right? So now these backtests have happened. And that's the thing that gets me excited because now we can conclude those gaps are closed and a test of support has actually happened. And now we can get excited that a bigger move can actually happen. And I'm willing to talk about that and be excited about that now because otherwise you guys have just been hearing me say, look, it's trending. What do you want? Rangers by design or chaotic? I know you guys want me to say trending is going to happen. I can't say it. I'm not going to give direction. We're just going to have to wait. Boom. Now we don't have to wait. Now we got it. So I'm thrilled. And I'm thrilled for that. So here we go. Fingers crossed, cheering for some recovery to come quickly. So, okay. Duke XRP, man, thank you, very generous. Went from 12 o'clock whiskey drinker to flash crash buying. Thank you and God bless. Duke, thank you, brother. Guys, that's going to be it for this one. I hope you all are doing well. Let me see you on the way out the door with a little bit of Froggy.
It is Wednesday, my dude. It is Wednesday, my dudes.
There we go. There's my mic. We always kind of joke that it's like a weird day if there's like crazy red action and I have to like play the frog on that day. Fortunately, it's not like that in regards to like super crazy. Just those who tune in frequently, it'd be like impossible for you to not hear about a correction happening back to these levels. You've heard it at some point, or anybody who watches the channel. So hopefully your day is okay. Usually when we get this high viewership, it's due to scared, crazy, weirdness, but hopefully you guys are doing all right. Hopefully you can see the things that I've seen, the things that I've expected. Yeah, that this was okay. And this was normal stuff to happen before a bigger march upward could happen, that we would have to have a flash crash back to those levels. So hopefully you're okay. XRP guys, you're going to get more content from me now. Let me go check my channel. When is the last time I made an XRP specific video? Dude, I know it's been a while. It has been frustrating for me. November 11th. November 11th. Almost 2 months. Almost 2 months. Guess what, boys? and the very few ladies who watch, we're back. We're back. All right, guys. That's going to be it. If you're looking for something... Oh, wait. Sherv says, I feel like the news create wicks and candles create news. I don't know. I don't know. I don't pay it. The news doesn't really mean anything to me. I think you guys know that. When we go through the news segment, I'm pretty much a jerk the whole time. You know? So, all right. BMGMD says, don't be a moon boy, BBCB always. And thanks for 2 steps ahead analysis and when moon. Yeah, I know, man. I know. Whenever you hear me being moon boyish, it's because I'm genuinely feeling that way. I don't ever do it for viewership. I don't ever come on here and just say, you know, I think for people who follow long enough, you know that by now. All right. That's it. Guys, you can check out bcbacker.com. Guys, get your understanding of the market in here. For those who haven't checked out Looking into 2024 newsletter, here we go. This is up. Of course, all the newsletters there on developer data and all that stuff, and improving odds back in 2020 and then applying those same stuff to not Oscar. Did you just expose yourself? Do I know who you are, Oscar? Did you just send me a text? No. Okay. I don't know. All right. Not Oscar asked, how did my doctor's appointment go yesterday? Okay. We're going to end this with fluff. If you guys are done, you can bail. No more stuff. Check out my newsletter. blockchainbacker.substack.com. Link in the description of the video. Okay. Yeah. So for those who don't know, I've been improving my health over the last couple of years. A couple of years ago, I started high-intensity interval training. I went to the doctor for my annual checkup because I'm taking blood pressure medication for over a decade. When I went in to get my blood pressure taken and my blood work done 1 year after my birthday or something, my blood pressure was very low. So low, it was considered dangerous of how low it was. And it had turned out that doing the high-intensity interval training, my blood pressure had started improving. And so they dropped my blood pressure medication in half. A year later, I continued doing the high-intensity interval training for a whole year. Went in, blood pressure is still low. They dropped it another, cut it into a quarter. So I was only taking a quarter of a pill. And then, it went another year, another 6 months or something like that. And then they took me off the medication now. And I think I've been off of it for 9 months. Some of you guys may know better than me. Maybe it's been 6. Maybe it's been 9. I went in. My health is perfect, you guys. Perfect. They took the blood work, so I don't have the blood work results yet. So we're waiting for that to come back in. My blood work typically always comes back good. I'll share a little couple things with you. One of the challenges I always have is good cholesterol. I have a hard time keeping my good cholesterol up. My bad cholesterol is always fine. It's always low. But HDLs are always a struggle for me to get up. And it's like having to eat more fish oil pills or more avocados and stuff like that. But otherwise, yeah. So anyway, the moral of the story is the doctors always tell you to hey, stop smoking or don't drink alcohol or exercise. And it's very bizarre. It does work. So, or at least the exercising was definitely the thing. I quit a lot of that stuff a long time ago. But, the exercising was the thing that finally ended up doing it. It was the high intensity exercising that ended up doing it. So, there we go. Yeah. But otherwise, things like checking my breathing, my heart rate, my blood pressure, everything came back normal. And guys, I've been on blood pressure medication for 9 months, and my blood pressure is still normal with no medications. So that's pretty cool. Pin, brother, thank you. HTB gifted a BCB membership. Thank you. Hot Tub Brian and Sick Thinker gifted one as well. And Oscar, thank you very much for the super chat. Not Oscar Hernandez. Thank you very much for the super chat, brother. But then Pin, must see for me every day. It's amazing. When we started the thing, there's a lot of mixed feelings on it. Here we are. We're still doing it in 2024. We still get over 3,000 people to tune in during crazy days. So there's some people who like it, and that's cool. All right, guys. Eric gifted a BCB membership. Guys, that's it. I'm wrapping this thing up. I appreciate you all for tuning in. I hope you're doing okay. I hope I kind of showed you my case, why things looked okay to me today with things we've talked about earlier. So, Hot Tub Brian, thank you. Guys, I'm wrapping it up. Check out bcbacker.com. Check out the newsletter on blockchainbacker.substack.com. And otherwise, have yourself an absolutely fantastic Wednesday. Here's what we'll do. I'm not going to play it on the stream. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do like this. See how this goes. Just all right, guys. That's going to be it for this one. Thank you so much for watching. If you could, please like this video and give it a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can be notified of when I create new content and when I go live. As always, this is not investment advice and I am not a financial advisor, but if you ever need to pick me up or a little bit of reassurance, just remember that the blockchain backers got your back. Have a good one, guys.